Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Learn more at labrunerie.com or by calling 573-449-5313. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, October the 14th. Larry Brown is with us today. A singer, storyteller, all about good God.
Well, thanks, Paul.
Today, what are we combining today? You've got your guitar with you.
Well, we're doing Indigenous Peoples Day.
Indigenous People Day. Is today Indigenous People Day?
Now, it's not a national holiday, but there are a number of states in the United States that do declare this day a day of recognition for particularly Native American peoples. Historically, this has been called Columbus Day. There was an attempt to call it Discovery Day. And going back to the 1970s and 80s, there was a good deal of resistance against that. Hey, wait a minute. For thousands of years, there were people here first.
Right.
And so now it's been sort of a more now, not so much a protest as a let's honor the traditions that were here. I mean, we sit here on land that once was Osage and Iowa and Missouri.
Exactly.
And let's honor our heritage.
Yes, we make it appear that the white man came in here and discovered and made all of this, when in reality, we came in and started making a mess of some things.
Well, it was back in 1968, I think. I was in college, and I went to a party with some friends, and I heard some music in the background. I thought, who is that? That voice was so distinctive, and a particular song I was hearing was Universal Soldier, and then I heard the song I'm going to share later, and I inquired, who is it? And my friend said, well, that's Buffy Sainte-Marie. And in 1968...
Buffy Sainte-Marie. I haven't heard that name for a long time.
That's right. Well, I didn't know who she was. And the song was Now That the Buffalo's Gone, in which she actually recorded in 1964. And she wrote it initially because the Kinsawa Dam and Reservoir was put in Pennsylvania, which flooded some of the Seneca land all the way up into New York State. And they violated a treaty that was signed by George Washington, flooded cropland, and replaced several thousand acres with a few hundred acres of marginal land. Well, I was listening to her and understanding. She was originally Cree from Saskatchewan, but was orphaned as a child, raised by members of the Mi'kmaq Nation in northeast United States, and went on to become a popular folk musician. She was the first Native American to win an Oscar.
Really?
For her song, Up Where We Belong, that was in the movie An Officer and a Gentleman.
Uh-huh.
And she was on Sesame Street for 5 years running, and to this day is a popular musician doing concerts and recording award-winning albums. So I want to share this song, which was really one of the very first that I heard from her. Now, it's gone through changes. She no longer mentions Kinsawa Dam. There's other lyrics that have shifted as time went on. But
okay, what's the name of the song?
Now That the Buffalo Is Gone.
Now That the Buffalo Is Gone, originally by Buffy Sainte-Marie. Now Larry Brown.
Can you remember the time when you held your head high and told all your friends of your Indian blood? Proud good lady and proud good man, that your great-great-grandfather from Indian blood came, and you feel you're a part of these ones. It's been written in book and in song, how we've been mistreated and wronged. But over and over I hear the same words from you, good lady, and you, good man. But listen to me if you care where we stand, and you feel in your heart for these ones. When a war between nations is lost, the loser we know pays the cost. But even when Germany felt your hand, consider, good lady, consider, good man, that you left them their pride and you left them their land. But what have you done to these ones? Has a change come about, my dear man? Or are you still taking our land? Treaties forever the senators sign. They do, good lady, they do, good man. But the treaties are broken again and again. What have you done to these ones? Well, it's all in the past, you can say, but it's still going on here today. The government now wants the Navajo land, that of the Inuit and the Cheyenne. It's here and it's real, you must help us, dear ones, now that the buffalo's gone.
That's kind of a melancholy tune there.
Well, I want to say a word, though. I says too often I think the narrative of Native American peoples has to do with the tragedy. And of course, I've spent time on Native American reservations in recent years and had fellow storytellers, et cetera, et cetera. And it's difficult to get out of that narrative of tragedy and destruction and find again the narrative of we have a valuable culture that's important today. And I think we just recently had an art show here at the university, too, that's what's going on now, is saying, wait a minute. Here are valuable cultures, not only in history, but present today, that may offer us hope and options for caring for the earth and one another, the respect of diversity and integration of the planet.
And the same thing is happening in the state of Hawaii, where the Hawaiian people lost their land.
Precisely.
And there are still many of the Hawaiians who resent that and are trying to keep the Hawaiian culture alive.
Of course. And I think that's, that may be wise from a universal standpoint. Diversity guarantees survival.
Yeah.
If you narrow the qualities physically or culturally, you take some risks here. And maybe part of honoring Indigenous people's heritage is actually saying, let's keep the earth alive and working.
Yeah. Larry, thank you so much. It's always such a pleasure to have you here. If people want to hear more of your stories or songs, they can get them.
Contact me at brownstory@hotmail.com.
brownstory@hotmail.com. Are they on Amazon? Any on Amazon?
No.
Okay. Well, brownstory@hotmail.com. Or from the trunk of his car, if you happen to see Larry Brown.
My hip pocket, guitar case.
Right. Thank you, Larry. Tuesday, the Central Missouri Renaissance Festival and Out of the Darkness Walk. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.